The offer matters in marketing. Like, you can have incredible marketing, but if you don't nail that offer and the positioning of that offer and the bonus and the way that you set it up, it can impact the conversion. You cannot get stuck in one launch or one funnel that doesn't convert how you want it to. You have to play the long game, and you have to make planting these seeds a non-negotiable, because they will pay off. You have to constantly be creating gaps for what's next. Embodied CEOs don't chase trends. They pave the way. They lead from within, moved by purpose, unshaken by noise. When you are the source, you do not need permission. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Happy Thursday. If you are tuning in live, I will be deep in Embodied Marketing Live when this episode airs. I'm getting ahead. I moved things around so I could actually stay at my office really late today. Really late, later than my normal. And skip my workout so I could get some really focused work, like lock in, get stuff done. You know those days where you have so much to do and it's kind of scattered, like it's projects in all different areas and you don't know where to start, so you kind of like freeze. That was me today, but we got through it, and I locked in, and I've had a very productive day, thank goodness, because I needed that before the event week kicks off. So I thought today that I could break down our recent launch, which was our most successful launch to date in the history of the company, which is really exciting. It was over a 6-figure launch of cash made. And we still are bringing in sales as I record this, so it actually will go up because our sales process is a little longer. So I'm going to give you all the details. So this launch was our challenge. It was our ultimate Facebook ads challenge. So it's a free challenge. And I have run this challenge for a while, probably 4 years of running it off and on. If I were to guess, I've probably run it 20 plus times, 25 even maybe. So that's one thing I want to point out, is it is a proven launch. We have already proven this, the messaging, like the experience, the launch. But every single time I improve it, and every single time we do freshen up the messaging, I'll use what worked and I will take that and make new messaging, or fresh, not new, but definitely new ads, and we freshen that up. So it's a 3-day challenge. Actually, when we started this, probably 4 years ago, I did the first one, if I'm remembering the timeline right. It was a 5-day challenge. So we brought it down from a 5-day to a 4-day to a 3-day challenge. The last handful of times it's been a 3-day challenge. And the promise of the challenge is that you get your visibility ads live. So you heard me promote it on here. You saw that. Here's some things that we did different this time. And then I want to give you the numbers. I want to give you why I think it worked and what worked kind of all came together. I think this was, yes, the challenge itself was successful, but I also think it's a lot of other seeds that have been being planted that all came together for a really successful launch, which was cool. So first of all, previously I hadn't done the challenge this year. I did a different challenge, which was interesting because I wanted to try something new. And we called it the Embodied Marketing Challenge. And it wasn't as implementation heavy. It wasn't like get your ads live. It was more me teaching my model in 3 parts and someone building out we called it their marketing one-pager. And it didn't do as well. That challenge did not convert as well. It converted a higher cost per lead. We converted sales and it was profitable, but nowhere near what we just spent or what we just made and what we just did in this last challenge. I was thinking about ad spend. I'm going to tell you ad spend. So one of the reasons that I think it was super successful, which just kind of, you can't repeat every single time, I will try, but is because I hadn't done it all year. So this is a very popular challenge with my audience. I have people who take the challenge and like remember it. Like they've taken it and they're like, I'm taking it again and I'm taking it again because I couldn't finish it before. And so this has become a known challenge that we put on. It is definitely my most popular free experience because honestly, I could charge for the whole thing. Like it is such a good delivery because I actually help people get their ads live in 3 days, which is huge progress. So I hadn't done this challenge all year. I think the last time we ran this challenge was November of last year. So that's a while. So naturally, that's going to create some buildup. That's going to create some excitement for my audience and people wanting to sign up. And I do think that helped. Now, we took all of our challenge messaging and refreshed our funnel. And actually, one change that we made was I simplified our landing page, the challenge opt-in page. I simplified it based on some things that were working well in some client funnels and our webinar funnel. And I simplified the copy, and then I filled it with a bunch of social proof from past challenges. And we ended up with a 40% landing page conversion to cold traffic and a more than 50 to 55% to our warm traffic. So our funnel, we duplicate. I have one for ads, I have one for social media, and I have one for organic, which is really like email list or when I send out the link. So I know the data and I know the leads from every single funnel, and I can trace them. So our landing page converted at a record number. That's one thing that definitely helped. Our cost per lead also was a record number, and I'm going to give you the exact metrics. One big thing I implemented this time was I added a VIP ticket. So on the thank you page, I added a VIP ticket for $77. That included 2 extra support calls with actually an ads manager, an extra call with me, extra entire toolkit that was AI driven that wrote their copy, came up with their content ideas, and a Telegram support group. So honestly, a lot of one-on-one support. And we sold quite a lot of people into that ticket. And funny story, we launched the funnel and I was like a little bit back and forth on the price of the VIP ticket. I was like, is 77 too much? Like, do I want to make it 47? I want it to be a no-brainer. And we launched it and we sold like 3 or 4, like within 10 minutes of launching it. And I was like, guess we're leaving it at 77. So that was definitely the right price. But we converted way more than I thought into that VIP ticket. And so what I did was I had an ad spend, and then I told my team everything that we make from VIP ticket sales we can put back in and add to our ad spend, because I don't really need that as profit. Let's just get more leads. So we got a record cost per lead. We got VIP tickets, which was great because it built quality audience. So that group of, it was about 45 to 50 VIP tickets we sold. That group got to build a much deeper relationship. And I don't have fully the data, but I think a huge percentage of them ended up buying our bigger offer. And actually the bonus VIP call that I hosted, by the time that it got time to that call, which was actually on the 4th day of the challenge, they got a bonus call with me. Most of the questions on that call, at least in the beginning, were actually about people working with us. So it was great because it just allowed extra connection for me to talk to them about working with us in addition to doing the call with the team. Let me give an overview of the funnel, then let me give you metrics, and let me give you my takeaways. So opt-in, free 3-day challenge. Here's what works about the actual offer and the messaging. It is a fast result for somebody, and it is implementation, not more information. So we actually get your ad live on day 2. And this is not me like tricking somebody. This really is so valuable. So I get their ad live on day 2, and they attract 1,000 or more ideal customers to their business with their ad and get incredible results like within 3 days. That messaging alone has always done well for me. And giving somebody an option that's not social media as a way to grow their audience and showing them, like, the mindset shift that I create in this experience is showing you don't have to just keep posting and posting and posting and hoping that people see your content. You can run this visibility ad, and we're going to get it set up. So day 1, I teach what the visibility ad is. I give examples. I get them really understanding the strategy. And then they have homework every day. So they have to actually go create the content that day for their visibility ad. Day 2, we set up the ad. And then day 3, I teach a bigger training, which is equivalent to my webinar, but it is specific to this challenge where I tie together the other layers of marketing. So this is your first layer. This is your audience. So I have to show you how you turn that into leads and sales. And then that's what leads to our offer. So the way that I structure it is every morning we send out an email and it has an action guide. And I updated all of our content this round. I updated it with all fresh design, with how we laid it all out, updated ad videos. So every day you get an action guide is what I call it. And it kind of explains, and then any resources or training videos you get linked right there. And so on day 1, your training video is finding your audience. and then creating your content. And so that's what you're working on. On day 2, it's actually setting up your ad. So we literally give away for free a step-by-step tutorial from my lead ads manager on setting up your visibility ad. And so you get that on day 2. And then every day I do a live call. So same time I do a live call, and it's really more structured as Q&A. Because we email out what you need every morning, and then there's pre-recorded trainings. And I would say it takes people maybe, the live call is 30 to 40 minutes. You don't have to be on the whole thing. Maybe it's another 30, 40 minutes to an hour of like the trainings. It's not an overwhelming amount, but I do also try to pack in a lot in a short period of time. So I go live Monday and Tuesday or whatever, day 1, day 2, and day 3 at the same time. Day 3 is a more structured training, more formatted like a webinar. And that's the day that I really emphasize, and I say, make sure you show up because it ties everything together. And that's true. And I want people on that day 3 training because it's my webinar, because I'm going to pitch. But it is the most important training because everything they did that week doesn't matter if they don't tie it into generating leads and sales. So on day 3, that's when I do my standard webinar, and I pitch on that webinar and go into our offer, which I pitch people into booking a call. And we had a new bonus that we offered for people who were a part of this challenge. That was a 30-day content strategy. So a custom content strategy that we're creating for them in addition to everything else we do in our offers. So I had an extra bonus. And then I also did a live webinar bonus. So if you booked your call on the webinar, then you qualified for that bonus. So let's look at numbers. I literally have my sheet pulled up. I'm going to give you guys the exact real numbers behind the scenes. So my total ad spend was $6,697. Typically, I spend about $5,000 on these launches. That's what I approved. And then I was fine putting money back in. And actually, we didn't put all the money back in that we made from VIP ticket sales. So get this though, here's some interesting things. So we converted a total of 3.4% of all the registrants to VIP, okay? Here's what's super interesting. Our Facebook ads funnel converted 2.2% of registrants to upgrade. We paid our average cost per lead was $7.80, which is, in my opinion and my expertise in what I see, extremely good for a B2B live event. Our organic funnel, so that is my email list and podcast, anywhere we send it out organically except for social, converted upgrade to VIP at 6.6% of all registrants. Landing page converted for her ads at 40%. Social media funnel got a lot less leads, but the VIP upgrade was 12.5%. So what does that tell you? Social media funnel volume was significantly lower of total registrations. I'm talking like less than 1/10 of registrations. Majority of my leads, 85% of them came from ads. But 12.5% of people from social media upgraded. So I love this because what does this prove? Social media cannot be your main growth driver. It cannot be the main thing that drives your leads, because it's not a big enough volume. You can't get enough. If I just counted on social media for this challenge, I would not have had enough leads. But the quality of the audience, because they follow me and they engage with me a lot and they're very warm, is very high. That's also backed in organic. I would completely expect that organic and social media would have a higher conversion on VIP upgrade than my ads, which was filled with a lot of cold traffic. So that was really interesting. But volume still, the number of VIP upgrades, we got the most from ads. We got almost half of our VIP upgrades came from ads. And then another, between the two, half social media and organic basically had almost similar. So those are our numbers. And then we had, so live show up rate. So day 1, this is where I need to improve for next time. Day 1's live show up rate out of total attendees was only 10%. And then it was 8%. And then the last day was 7% of total attendees. That's pretty low. Now, when I reflect on it, one thing with this challenge is that we send out the action guide and we send out things that they can do, so they don't really have to go to those calls. I did have a live show up bonus for the third day to come to that call, and we pushed it everywhere. It was in the action guide, it was in the emails, like everywhere. I said it every day. So we did push that live guide significantly. I do find that a lot of people watch the replays in this challenge, and I limit the replay. So it expires after the weekend. So like you have to watch it, because I do redirect those pages come Monday. VIP got the lifetime access. So they got to keep access to that. And so that was another thing. I had a handful of people upgrade to VIP on days 1 and 2, and even on day 3, a few people, because they wanted access to that. They wanted access to the ads call. So on days 1 and 2, I would mention, hey, if you want to go to the call later as a bonus ads call, upgrade to VIP. And my team was in there giving them the link. So I would say that's my biggest opportunity to improve this experience, is the actual show up, because 10%, 8%, it's kind of low of all the registrants, but even then the conversion was amazing. So on the last day, when I pitch, out of the live attendees, 25% of them converted to book a call. And I was pitching straight up like the offer. It was the call. The call is very clear. It's a sales call. So 25% of them converted into booking a call from that webinar, like live. And then we got about the same amount of applications or calls booked in the follow-up. So from there, we have our current close rate is sitting at about 30%. So out of all of those calls, we're closing 30% of them, but we do have some sales still trickling in, and it's been just over a week since the webinar. So we front load our calendar so that you can only book 3 or 4 days out, because we really try to get everybody in there. And then we use the bonus as a reason to join ASAP. So those are the numbers. So out of this, like if I look at this, excellent cost per lead, our best yet. Excellent VIP upgrade. I mean, to a $77 offer on the thank you page, an average of 3.4% is great. To me, that's really good, because it's $77. If it was $27.47, I would have wanted to see it a little bit higher. Very interesting to see 12.5% for organic, for social media. That just reiterates the quality, but you can't count on social media as your prime growth driver, because my leads were so much lower volume. And then also how I will improve the show up rate next time. I am still thinking that through. That would be my biggest opportunity, because if I had even a 15% show up rate, it would be great, because anytime I can get somebody there live, I have a higher chance of building the relationship to then converting them into the offer. I think what I'll do is make it more valuable, the actual call itself. Right now, how I have this challenge structured is you get sent out everything you need in email, and then you come to that live call with me, and I do a little bit of teaching, but it's a lot of Q&A. And I do that because I send everything out, and I don't want to be repeating the exact same thing. And I even do repeat it a little bit, but I think I need to make a reason why you should come to that call. And somebody actually in DMs, so another thing we had where you DM'd me a keyword to get something in our nurture sequence before the challenge started. And then after the challenge, we went back and followed up with all those DMs for conversations. But somebody actually in the DMs gave me feedback, and they said, I didn't like going to the call because it was all Q&A. And I just felt like it wasn't worth my time. And I was like, at first I was like, well, did you watch the trainings? You know, you do a live experience for thousands of people, and you're like, everybody always, you know, people who like you give so much value and they still have something to complain about. It's just kind of the way it is. At first I was like, well, did you watch the trainings? Like, did you go through the experience? But then I thought about it, and I was like, that makes sense. Like if we're pushing the calls and saying, you got to be on these calls, you got to be on these calls, they're super valuable. And then you come on and maybe you jump on 15 minutes late and I already finished my spiel, and then I'm just doing Q&A. It might not be the best experience. And so I think I'm going to shift that a little bit. I think I'm going to actually put slides for days 1 and 2, do a little bit more structured teaching. I know what all the questions are, so I could turn the questions into teaching. And then I think what I'll do is give some sort of incentive. I'm not sure what it is, but I need to have some sort of incentive to get people there live with me every single day, like give away something each day that you have to be there live to get the link to. So that's my biggest area of improvement. And then in our sales process, I think that one of the biggest changes, because we had a record number for number of people that book to call. Like that's a very good conversion, especially when a lot of the, half probably of these challenge leads are cold traffic. I think our offers. I changed our offers 4 or 5 months ago. And since I've done that shift in our offers, my business has just exploded. And the offer is so good, and the offer matters in marketing. Like you can have incredible marketing, but if you don't nail that offer and the positioning of that offer and the bonus and the way that you set it up, it can impact the conversion. And so those things, I think that the fact that I hadn't done the challenge yet this year, that adjusted our offers and improved our offers, and they're better than ever before. And also all the seeds that I've planted. I've done this weekly webinar for 22 weeks straight. And we invited all the leads from the weekly webinar into this challenge. Social media. I've been posting twice a day, 6 days a week since April. Planting the seeds, like consistency. And then you bring those people in, which is the exact thing I teach. This is exactly, literally the model that I teach and we implement in scale and implement for our clients. Is you have consistent lead generation every single day. You're growing your list. You're converting that list. My webinar converts at about a 3x return on ad spend, but I know 2% of those leads convert right away. It's primarily cold traffic coming into my weekly webinar because we run it every week. And those leads convert. And then I know that if I invite them to an experience, they will convert. And I can't tell you how many people on this challenge said, I've been to multiple of your trainings. I've participated in 3 of these challenges. I would say, I don't have the exact data, but at least half of our sales, if not more, have been on the list for a little while. So what does that mean for you? It means you've got to play the long game. You cannot get stuck in one launch or one funnel that doesn't convert how you want it to. You have to play the long game, and you have to make planting these seeds a non-negotiable because they will pay off. So I've been very consistent in showing up in lead generation, growing our list. We had specific ads targeting people who had signed up for the webinar, specific ads for our list and pushing to our list. And, we went all out with the promotion. I invited the list. We always do that for the challenge, but invited the list. I put it on social. I put it on stories a lot of times. I talked about it in the podcast enough. Like it was a very cohesive promotion. And I think we did a really good job with that this time. Sometimes I get a little behind the 8 ball and then I'm like forgetting to mention it on the podcast. And there's just that lack of cohesiveness. That's something that I work with a lot with our VIP clients on is like, do you have that ecosystem? And then do you have cohesiveness so that the machine is all working towards the same thing? And I think one thing I could criticize of myself on this is, constructively criticize, is in the offer part. We did sales emails. We have retargeting ads that we run, but I didn't talk about the bonus for the offer on my stories and on social and on here. I didn't even mention it. I probably could have done that. I probably should have done that. I should have followed through the promotion, through the sales. Once I got to day 3 of the challenge and pitched, and then we had promo emails for the next, I think 4 days. From there, I kind of stopped talking about the offer, and I should have talked about the bonus. So I would say improving that. So as of right now, we have done over 6 figures in sales, and I spent $6,000. So that means, right, that yes, the ads, I was way profitable. $6,000 in sale, $6,000 in ad spend, or whatever I said. It was just over $6,000. $6,000 in ad spend, over $100,000 in sales. But a lot of the leads I had already paid for. They'd already been in my ecosystem. And I really want you guys to grasp this. This long game kind of snowball effect marketing where it all starts working together, it all starts coming together. That is the main thing I teach. When I teach my webinar, it's what I'm trying to get you guys to see is you need the consistency with the live experiences, and you need this ecosystem all working together. And when we implement for specifically our scale clients or our done for you elite and VIP clients, this is exactly what we're implementing on just different levels. And it works. It works every single time. And you pair that with good messaging, a good proven offer, an irresistible paid offer with really good bonuses. You just check those boxes, then you have an incredible launch and you have incredible results and super, super profitable. Now I have added in the downsell. So that came to me maybe in the challenge that I was like, you know what? We don't have something for people that really just can't invest in our done for you options. And I refuse to make a done with you marketing implementation offer again, where I'm giving you templates, I'm giving you funnel templates and sales page copy templates and email templates and all these things, and you're putting it all together. I think I can make an incredible offer doing that, but people still get stuck. So I that's what I got rid of and made our offers done for you, where we're doing all the sales pages, we're doing all the funnels, we're doing all the tech, we're doing the ads, we're loading the ads, like all the things that I know people get stuck on, we're doing. And so I was like, I don't want to make an offer that's like a DIY version of that, or, done with you. Like, I don't want to go down that path ever again, because it just doesn't get you guys results. It doesn't. You get stuck. And so I was like, you know what if I make a way lower price digital product that is not meant to actually build everything out, but we create the entire blueprint of the unignorable brand. We plan out the messaging. We create your messaging that gives you conviction, that allows you to create that good content. We plan out what your lead generation is. We plan out your offer positioning. Like, we build the strategy, essentially. We build the entire marketing strategy together. And like any good downsell, that should set you up to be ready for our offers. So a big thing when you look at a customer journey is you have to constantly be creating gaps for what's next. And this challenge creates a gap for my offer. The downsell that I'm adding in at the end, so we're about to launch that will add to the revenue for our challenge because it's going as a downsell. Anybody who comes in that, it creates a gap still for our main offers. It's cohesive. Cohesiveness, strong messaging, irresistible offer, incredible experience. When I look at the challenge itself, the job of that challenge was to create clarity. It was to create clarity and confidence, and that's exactly what it does. It creates clarity on the ads that somebody needs to run, the layers to their marketing, what they're missing, what they need to implement, and it also creates confidence in my system. My system works, but I have to get people to understand my system sometimes to be ready to buy. And so those things all worked, combined with a proven offer, the urgency, the fact that we hadn't done it all year. So anyways, it was super fun. It was definitely our best execution yet of the challenge. And I have some specific things I'm going to change for the next one. The biggest ones being I need to get the show up rate up. I could do a better job in the sales, promotion, minus, like pretty much I just did email and text. And I didn't really talk about the offer after. I could do a better job with that. And really getting that show up rate up. I'm going to change the delivery a little bit on day one. I got a comment during the challenge that said, I participated in this challenge last year in March, and this is like already such a better experience. So that's cool. Having people participate in multiple times and then see the evolution, because I really do improve it every time. I'm going to keep the VIP the same price and same way we delivered it. I wouldn't change anything about that. It was great, super high value. Getting to meet with my ads manager and me. And that also does what it's supposed to. It creates the gap in the trust for working with us. That ads manager that you get to meet with on my team and you get to like really get to know is the main ads manager who launches your ads in scale, who actually supports you once your ads are launched, who does our biggest done for you client ads. Like, he's my ads manager. He ran these challenge ads. You get access to him. And so you get to meet him and you get to know him. So that's our challenge launch. That's the behind the scenes. I'm still bringing in the sales data. I'll be able to track exactly how many sales came from ads, social, organic, and see exactly how long they were on my list before they bought everything they did. We track that religiously. I do that for my VIP clients too. Like, I'm a big proponent of that tracking so we can keep doing more. But basically my strategy is weekly webinar, creates consistent leads, creates those relationships, converts enough that it's profitable and it brings us consistent sales every month, and then the challenge is going to explode it and we'll just keep getting bigger and better. I plan on increasing my ad spend next time for sure. I mean, spent just over 6K and made 100K plus. So that is awesome. Yeah. hopefully you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes dump of the challenge. And next time around, if you didn't participate, definitely participate in that. If you are interested in the offer I just put out, Unignorable, embodiedmarketing.com/unignorable, we're going to spend 30 days together. And this is the only time I am personally running this cohort, okay? We're going to spend 30 days together, reset your brand, reset your messaging, your offer positioning, your content strategy, visibility, lead gen, all of it, the entire kind of blueprint that you need. And all these things I'm talking about, strong messaging, strong positioning, a killer lead generation offer, a killer live launch, offer positioning and bonuses that are going to convert people like that. All of that is what we're doing. 30 days, it's going to be a mix of trainings that I drop at the beginning of each week. It's a 4-week experience, as well as live calls with me. So embodiedmarketing.com/unignorable. I'll probably raise the price after this round for sure. Get it on the live experience. I made it like such a no-brainer price, So, all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today, and I will talk to you next week.